Okay, a little bit more on similar kinds of expressions. Here we have x minus 1 in the numerator and a plus 1 in the denominator. The numerator has two terms, x and negative 1, but only one factor, which is the whole thing, x minus 1. Remember, a factor can be the expression. So the expression in the numerator is x minus 1, so x minus 1 is a factor of the numerator. Similarly, a plus 1 is a factor of the denominator. Now, of course, you could think of these as 1 times the quantity x minus 1 in the numerator, or even 1 times the quantity a plus 1 in the denominator. You could also think of negative 1 as a factor of either the numerator or the denominator. In this case, it's more often useful with the numerator. When you have a difference of two numbers, it's more common that writing it as negative 1 times something is useful. So here, if I wanted to write it that way, negative 1 is a factor in the numerator. The way it would look, though, is negative 1 times the quantity 1 minus x. And you can see this is correct. If you distribute this minus 1, you'll see you get a minus 1 here, negative 1 times 1. Then negative 1 times negative x is plus x. So you have negative 1 plus x, and then you just switch the x and the minus 1 around, and you get back to the x minus 1. So these are the same, and you should look at that for a while and get accustomed to it, because we do have to do that sometimes. Now, similarly, you could do the same thing with the denominator. It's just not useful. On the denominator, both of them, there's no minuses in there, and we kind of prefer it that way if we have a choice, right? So there's no reason to factor out a negative 1 in the denominator, usually. At least I can't think of an example. But if we did, it would look like this, x minus 1 over... Maybe we wouldn't have the parentheses on the x minus 1. Not sure why I put those in there. I think just to show you that that is a factor of the numerator. And then in the denominator, negative 1 times the quantity minus x, or usually I say the opposite of a, I'm sorry, not x, a. The opposite of a minus 1. So negative 1 times the opposite of a minus 1, with the opposite of a minus 1 in parentheses. So that would be kind of unusual, because then you have all three of these numbers here with minuses in front, and we kind of prefer to have positives, like just a plus 1 is preferable.